Morning, everyone, and happy Friday. This is Mr. Chamberlain to help you with your vocabulary practice, which was assigned today. So to begin, as always, I will share my screen. And I will begin with playing the Nearpod. All right. So the first slide is just an attention getter about vocabulary with an open-ended question. Following that, how many times do you think you need to use a word, hear it, say it, put it in a sentence before you have it permanently locked in your vocabulary, and why? So just do your best to guess to explain why you think it's the number you said. All right, so I think it takes about 4 times, let's say, to use a vocabulary because, and then I am just going to leave it at that, and you can handle it from there. Don't forget to hit submit when you're done, and of course you have the record audio version in case you prefer to speak instead of type. But in fact, study shows that it takes anywhere between 7 to 32 times before a term stays in your mind. And so with that in mind, our objective is to enhance our understanding of relevant vocabulary and concepts by completing a vocabulary graphic organizer and a vocabulary assignment. With the essential question being, which terms are the hardest? Obviously, those are the ones we want to spend the most time on. So we've done about work and objective. The next 2 things are the vocabulary assignment and vocabulary graphic organizer. So the next slide takes us to the vocabulary. It's the figurative language one. I'm not going to walk you through this. I know you guys have used it, but essentially you just got to go through all of these. With the exception there, Lyric Lab is not required. Just video, vocab cards, vocab game, read and respond, and quiz. The vocabulary graphic organizer I will show you is now. Your job is to first determine the part of speech. Is it a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb? Find a school-appropriate image that helps you to understand that word. Provide a definition of the term in your own words, and create or find a sentence that uses the word in context. And again, if this is confusing, just hop on this YouTube so I can show you. So one thing you'll want to have out is your vocabulary cards, just because they have good definitions already ready for you. You can choose to use Google, but I like the vocabulary cards just because the way that they are put in words makes more sense. They are more simplified definitions that are nevertheless accurate, especially in the context that we will be using during the test. So here is the graphic organizer that I was referring to. So the first term is elation. That's going to be a noun. So I can either put noun or I can abbreviate it with just N. That will let me know that the part of speech is a noun. For an image, if you don't know what to put, remember that each of these has an image too. But you can also just insert an image here for elation. And if you look at the definition, you can also then put great joy or pride and see if that yields an image that you prefer. I'm just going to try elation, see what I get. Oh, weird. I get a bunch of boats. I see you guys scoring. That might be a better one. So I don't like these images, so I'm going to try a synonym and see if that comes up. There we go. Nice and simple. Little smiley face. From there, I'm going to put a definition And again, this is where the cards are feeling of great joy or pride. And then a sample sentence. And here I would definitely take advantage of Google. I did mean elation in a sentence. His elation increased at the sight of the little girl he had saved. That would be great joy or pride. So we can paste it here. And you can adjust the format and the font. I'm realizing now that this might be a little small. So feel free to do that. I wanted to make them different colors so that way it was easier to track for you. But yeah, mess with the fonts. Make it look the way that it'll be more beneficial to you. The only warning I have for you guys is sensual, because sensual can have a pretty lascivious meaning. And so I might actually do this one for you, just to make sure nobody gets any tawdry or unwanted images. But sensual just means, in the context we're using, of or relating to the senses, right? Like something that appeals to one of your 5 senses. And so when I look up that image, I want to make sure that I'm not going to get one of the other definitions, which has some connotations that we don't want. So I am going to look up something that is like 5 senses. That way I know. These aren't very good. But at least that I lets us know that it's one of the 5 senses. And again here, just looking for it used in a sentence, but again, I don't want you guys to do that just for this one, because you might get, just not what we want. And it's something that you don't want necessarily to populate in a school document. So here, for sensual, using it in a sentence, and we should probably actually underline the words, that way we know which word it is. I'll add that to the instructions before I populate this into your Google Classroom. But sensual here would be like, the exhibit was very sensual as the paintings were scratch and sniff. And that, obviously that's not necessarily a real thing. However, it would be kind of cool if that were true, because then you could see the paintings, feel the texture, and smell them. So it indeed would be a pretty sensory and sensual experience. All right, and that's it, guys. Those are your 2 assignments. They are due on Sunday, as you can see from the Nearpod. And then just also make sure you're having a great weekend. If you have questions, reach out. And any missing assignments, please turn in. I am still accepting them for full credit. Just again, I know that times are crazy. I know you guys are dealing with a lot. I know that you probably have a lot of work from a lot of teachers. So I'm not going to judge it. Just get it into me, and I will grade it for full credit. All right? Have a good one.